Rev up your engines. And here we go, back to Tennessee, leaving Rhode Island. Check it out, it's 0 degrees outside, 0. Oh, it's warming up now, it's 1 degree. And there it is, Buffalo, an all-America city. And there is the American power plant we're driving by, headed to Columbus, Ohio. There's Beaver Island, but there's no beavers there anymore. There's only Beaver Island Park. Now, it's a shame we don't have smell-o-vision because the petrochemical tanks in Buffalo still smell as much as they did when I was a kid. Now, there's the old tire factory. My father worked there when he was going to college. And, of course, it no longer exists. It was bought by Asians, and then after a short period of time, as you can see, they shut it down. Now they still make Corvette engines over there. At least they still did the last time I checked. There's Canada on the other side. You can see everybody's put their boats away for the winter. They're all out of the water. This is the old water intake out there where Buffalo used to get their water from. I don't know if they still do. If anybody knows, tell me. So I checked it out, and indeed, that Ward pumping station is still used to pump water to the city of Buffalo from Lake Erie. And speaking of Buffalo, there's the downtown on a kind of dreary winter's day. You can see the old style buildings, definitely from the past. We have now entered Pennsylvania. Check it out, gas is cheaper in Ohio. $2.54. It's 80 cents cheaper than it was in New York. Even diesel's under $4 a gallon. A truck being pulled by a truck, being pulled by yet another truck. We're now leaving Ohio and the big Budweiser factory. Now we're crossing the Ohio River and we're in Kentucky. Back in Tennessee in my little stone cottage, ready to do business after the big fire in my garage in Rhode Island. The wind chimes are already calming me down. Of course, I'll be back here, Tennessee, Clarksville, helping people out with their car problems. You got any problems? You want to show off, especially a brand new car. I want to show new cars to people, to show them what's out there. Just email scottykilmer@gmail.com, and I'll gladly set up a time during the weekdays to check it out. But in the meantime, let's check out some of the stuff that people sent while I was gone. Well, there's an awful lot of stuff here and some downstairs. It's a bicycle. So let's start checking them out. Well, let's check out what's behind here. A gigantic storage battery. You can see it is an OCMO, 12.8 volt, 400 ampere hour, deep cycle lithium iron battery, 5,120 watt hours. That's a lot. Now, as you might guess, this isn't going to really fit in anyone's car. These are great for solar chargers, anything like that. We're going to take this to the land and we'll use it with all the generators we have there to run the power system in the cabins. We'll see how that goes over time. Now, as you look next, George, here's a traditional lithium ion battery. It's pretty heavy. I'm getting old. I'll turn it upside down. Get it out. There. 0.800 ampere hours, you can see. The 400 is much bigger, right? But it's 1,280 watt hours. That's 5,120 watt hours there. This, we're going to try this out in our boat. We can actually start the boat if you want. We got a 175 horsepower Yamaha engine. But we're going to use an auxiliary one to use running lights, stereo, trolling motors for fishing. We'll see how that works out over time. And as per usual, I check these things out. Nobody pays me. This isn't paid advertising. They send me these things, I try them out. And I'll tell you, as time goes on, whether these things hold up or not. So you don't have to waste your money. Next box, see what's in there. Smart air pump, little bitty one. Small ones work pretty good. Let's power it up and check it out. Well, it shows a full charge, and we're gonna use this later in the video because there's an electric bicycle I gotta put together down there. We'll fill the tires up with it. Hey, 2 for 1. Well, now I know what's in this box. It is a Young 2-bike rack. Camouflage with ramp. And that is the tail stop lamp assembly for it. But as you can tell, it's getting cold outside. Kitty's searching for mice before they all hibernate. So we'll test that out in the spring. It's getting too cold to put in a bike rack and going biking somewhere. But we got 2 trucks we can hook the hitch up to, so we'll check that out in the spring. So let's see what's in this box. and sell, it says. They sure make these boxes hard to get into. There we go, box in a box. Now, as you can see, this is a scan tool for motorcycles, ATVs. Hey, something I was always looking for. And so, model MT700. If you've ever had a motorcycle, an ATV, or a snowmobile worked on, you know those guys charge a fortune and they're just as complex as modern cars. Hey, finally, a scan tool to use on all those vehicles. And I'm going to start trying it out in the spring when things warm up. I'm trying trucks and motorcycles. Got an OBD port it'll plug into. Polaris ATV, it's got one you can plug into. Great. Now I don't have to guess when I'm messing around with those things, because I hate paying other people to do stuff. Now they got one that'll work on motorcycles, ATVs. Now snowmobiles aren't too good for me because I'm only in Rhode Island in the summer and spring. I'm not there in the winter, and here in Tennessee it really doesn't snow enough for a snowmobile. But next, let's see what's in this one. A Best heavy duty jumper starter. All right, says it's 8,250 amps. That's a lot of amps. Kind of lightweight. I'll be checking this one out too. Now the rest of these are jump starters and camcorders I'm going to test out, so I'll talk more about them after I test them out. Now last but not least is this Luck Keep kind of off-road bicycle, electric bicycle, so let's check it out. I've done enough of these. I got this down to a science. Cut all the straps, fit it up. Got something to lean it on here. Motorcycle jack here. Now the back wheel's there. So, I found the best way to take them apart is to slice them here, then the other side. Make sure the slice goes through. Sometimes it's kind of hard. Once you get the ramp, you're going to slide the bike out. You reach inside, get the front tire. It's got plastic clips in the way. You need to cut them off. Once you cut the clips, you got the front tire, then you can generally slide it out. Remember, there's no tire on the front, so you got to pull pretty hard to get it out. There's no tire on the front, but the whole thing will slide out to see if it's got the kickstand on it or not. Yes, it has a kickstand, so there we can lean it on the kickstand. Now we can start taking it apart. Yeah, strangely enough, you got to take them apart before you put them together because they got all these pieces on them. You got to get all that out of the way. That's plastic. It's got nice gas-filled shocks. Pretty good shocks, I got to say. Now this is the front fender, which we'll put on later. That goes on the front. They just stored it in the back when I built it. That goes in the front. Slide these things off. Now we're going to test out my little air pump we got. It says 24 to 30 psi, so we'll put 30 psi in it. This will turn it on. It's set at 36, so we'll put it down to 30. All right, let's see if it works. Valve stem is down here. Take my glove off, make it easier. It's clean, it's not dirty. So a lot of times they don't come with any air in them at all. So we'll see. I even had one that had a flat tire when it came. They gripped the tube when they installed it. So, all right, that's on. And it has 6.5 psi. So, we'll put in 30. We'll see if it can fill up both tires. Now, it's a little pump, so it's going to take a while, but it's working good enough so far. So, we got the front tire. We'll check it out, okay? It's got 5.5, so we'll put 30 in that. Well, I made it at 30 psi, so it filled up both tires at least. So now we'll flip it upside down and put the tire in. Put it down on the cardboard. It's a tire, and there's a bolt that holds it in place. Now the front tire goes on here. They usually have a backing plate for the brakes to get that out of the way. You gotta take that backing plate off to make it slide in. There, otherwise the rotor won't go on. And it came with these cute little wrenches. That's so loose you don't even need a wrench. We don't even use that part. That goes away. This is what we use. We loosen one end, take the washers out, then we carefully slide this on. But in order to do it, we got to get the bike a little higher. So, we'll find something we can lean it on. We'll see if this bucket is high enough. We got to get it off the ground pretty good. See if that's high enough. Oh yeah, that'll be high enough. Well, there's a will, there's a way. Right? We do one side, then the other. Now that slides over the brakes, and it's sliding over. And this goes in here. Hopefully it's got enough slack in it. Does it? I don't know. That's tricky. Get away. Ma, bees are attacking me. In the winter, the bees are out here. Crazy. Got to go in further. Okay. That's in there. And that's got to feed in there. While the other side goes in. There's one side. This side's a little bit rough getting in. So we'll have to pull it out the other side. There we go. We got it in, then we put the washer. It's tricky messing with these things. They don't give you much leeway. The rubber side with a spacer, then we can put it back on. It's always fun putting these things on, I'll tell you. It's always something sliding it in, and sliding the other side in. Come on, stinker. There we go, finally. Now they both have their spacers in. Put the outside spacer, the outside locker, one nut. And we do the same thing on the other side. Now the wheel spins and we can tighten it up. First get the wrong wrench. Use the other wrench. Spin it around. We'll tighten it more when it gets down on the ground. Now we can flip it up. Now it's got two wheels, so we can flip it up. Got a kickstand. Now we can put together serious. Get the handlebars, take this off so we can get the handlebars on. It'll start looking like a bike soon. Off it goes. On go the handlebars. Starts fun lining this stuff up. They're all adjustable. You adjust them later. You just want to get them on now. This in there. We only need to get a bottom one and we can start the whole thing. There, now at least it's going to stay in place while we get the one we dropped. Look kind of silly like that, but it's easier to get to the bolts. Tighten them up easier. We can adjust them to a comfortable position. I'd say right about here. That's a good riding position there. Now we'll put the pedals on. They're labeled left and right. This one's left, and it shows you the reverse thread. So it tightens to the left instead of the right. We're doing them backwards. The wrench it comes with tightens it up. When it's tight, you don't want the pedals falling off. These things can go pretty fast. One, then we do the other side, which spins in the correct direction to the right. Now I'm excited to try this thing on, so I'm going to put the fender and headlights on later. Let's see what this baby can do. It's got an interesting thing. You push the mode button, and it does NFC. It's a security card. As you can see, now it's set up to work. So what we're going to do is put it on full speed here, number 5, and we'll see how fast it goes just by picking it up. We'll pick up the back tire and give it full throttle, see what it can do. Hey, not bad. It goes 39 miles an hour. It almost burned a hole in my boot. Now I got it all together. It's a pretty cool bike, I do have to say. It has dual shocks in the back, and they're adjustable. You can adjust the tension. It has disc brakes front and rear, and they are hydraulic. They don't use brake fluid, they use mineral oil. Same thing. It's got the security so people can't steal it. 7-speed. Gotta say, I had some fun with this bike. And even though this one is new to me, I've had luck keep bikes before, and they all held up pretty good. So we'll see how this one goes over time. So now I'm back in Tennessee. Got to check all that stuff out. You've got a brand new car you want to show off. I want to analyze all the new cars for people. If you get a problem nobody can figure out, hey, Scotty Kilmer at gmail.com. That's the real Scotty. Just email me. Set up a time. Bring it over here in the weekdays. We can have a good time helping everybody out. After all, we're all in this together, so let's share all our information so nobody gets ripped off. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.